I have found a really good balance between the relationship of stillness and movement. So
I believe that in life we are here to serve a purpose greater than ourselves. But in order to do that the best way, we must start with investing in ourselves. I believe in you, and this channel is going to give you tools to help you overcome your challenges and light your path. Let's start. We are going to have today a really special guest. If you listen to her, I can guarantee you your life will change, but listening won't change your life. You also need to do something and take that action.
hello.
So, Ali,
Hi.
appreciate the time that, I know you're crazy busy schedule and you have a lot of things that you do. So I really appreciate that, you put this time today to basically help other people with your knowledge. I said at the beginning that I started saying that listening to you can change people's life. So then I twisted, I said listening and also doing whatever you're going to talk about. Uh, you've been in the field for years, whether it's in the yoga, breathing, movement, nutrition. So I would love to hear more from you, more about how your work serves people. But if we'll start, before I start those questions, if you could, just give the people that still didn't get to see your work, and whoever didn't see it yet, go into your Facebook and into your Instagram page. A lot of things over there you can join, but I'll give it to you from here.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And I'm just curious, how do you pronounce your name?
It's a great question. Yair.
Yair. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Well, thank you for having me on. And I love what you said at the beginning about the needing to do it, not just listening, listening, but actually direct experience. And that's a really important part of this work that I do with yoga and everything is you need to feel it and have it in your body. You can't just read the book or listen to the podcast or listen to the live and then you'll get it. Like you have to actually apply all of these techniques, right? So, well, I just wanted to say that. Thank you for mentioning that. And those that don't know me, I'm Alypaws, and I've been doing this. I've been on this journey of yoga, meditation, nutrition, healing for, I would say, at least 20 years now since I started yoga.
You
Yeah,
look like you're 20 years old, so how could that be 20 years since you're born?
yeah, exactly. Well,
Got it.
thank you. The work definitely helps with aging gracefully. So a lot of it came from stemming from me being an athlete and understanding how the body operates and self-awareness of what it needs, as in movement, nutrition, all of the things to make it operate optimally. And so as an athlete, I developed obviously injuries with that. So to heal from those injuries, I got into yoga. I started teaching 2 years later after I came back from this really big tour as a breakdancer. So that's a whole other podcast.
Maybe we'll jump there. I'll wait. I'll be patient. I'll be patient.
I realized the benefits of what yoga was giving me and the awareness of my own mind and thoughts and everything. So I started teaching, and then now I do teacher trainings, and I certify other people in a container and a program, and facilitate breathwork practices, because breathwork's been a really amazing gift for me for healing and others. Obviously, a lot of people need to be doing breathwork right now. And the meditation aspect, as well as just healing and health, like health coaching. I started to get into health coaching as well. Massage therapy, cranial sacral. I mean, I have just a whole tool belt, basically, of just keep adding. So yeah.
It's adding and adding and adding, but it's all connected to each other. So, you won't have that nutrition without the yoga and the movement and and the mind. Everything is together. It's not one thing that will be enough. Of course, each person has that one thing that maybe they should focus on more. You could You could say, you have your experience with your patients. And I really think, before I'm going to dive into the questions, especially, at these times that people are going through challenging times, and people are always going through challenging times, but maybe today have some less tools. I really recommend everyone follow you. You have some great work. I was looking at it. So really just go follow and enjoy and have a different life. But before you go and follow her, let's have some questions and then. So I want to ask you in terms of movement, like why is movement so important? I know in yoga there's a lot of movement, even though sometimes people might think yoga is just doing like this, and like there is movement, there is stretching. Why is movement so important for us in life? Like, why should I care about it?
Yeah, so I have found a really good balance between the relationship of stillness and movement. So I think a lot of people on one scale are go, 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 go type A, and they can't actually sit still, which is very healing as well, for the mind. But finding that balance, and the reason why it's so important for the human body, not just energetically, because we're energy's moving through the body, right? So if it gets stagnant, and scientifically, if it gets stagnant, and specifically with the fascia and connective tissue, I want to talk about for a second, because if you notice when you get out of bed first thing in the morning and you're kind of a little creaky and like you step and it's like, oh, ouch, sore.
Sure.
Like, we have the body when you sleep kind of recalibrates and resets, but it also, the energy kind of gets stagnant a little bit. So connective tissue is wrapped everywhere, and it's this like three-dimensional fluid-filled system. So if you're not hydrating it by moving or stretching or doing any kind of like foam rolling or anything, it will start to like mesh up on you, right? And there's nerve endings in those fascia, in the connective tissue. So it'll affect your thinking, your brain, the way you operate mentally as well. So that if you imagined that stagnant energy, just like for me, I learned to do it just because of intuition, where I had anxiety, and if I felt like stuck, like this stuckness, I know that I needed to move my body because I was a dancer, and the difference between before and after is huge. So you feel it before and you feel kind of stagnant and stuck and then you feel after you go for a walk in nature and you're just more alive and everything is, the cells are now talking to each other and moving and everything's more fluid and flowing. So it doesn't have to be hardcore, like let's go get the gym, and like it can be very gentle. I've been doing lots of qigong lately, very gentle kind of movements just to get the electricity and stuff moving through the body. So that's probably the importance of it, and you notice it when you do it and when you don't.
I think it's also amazing what you said, Ali, that in terms of that it doesn't have to be, like this hard, intense workout. I'm a person that actually a lot of times I do like those workouts, and then with life and with getting injuries, like a lot of those people, I realized that exactly what you said. It like sometimes it's not that it doesn't have to be those type of workouts. Better it's not. I just listened to an audiobook of Dr. Forgive me, I forgot his name, that he talks a lot about movement and about zone 2 exercise. So that's a type of exercise of movement that you can do when you're basically walking and or running, whatever it is, in a pace that you can talk to someone else on the phone. It's something that is a lot more, from what I understand, is a lot more healing than always being in high intense, because high intensity is great if you rest after that. But otherwise, if you just do that, I visited the hospital, so I don't recommend. And also you as a dancer, I know I love also dancing. I know dancing could be intense. So I really love what you said about that type of movement. And what I think is even more amazing, some people might think, we're talking about movement and say, okay, well, it's nice, I'll feel better, it's nice, I'll feel pretty good, but you're talking about also mentally, right? How much of an effect do you really think it has on our mental health? Moving, whether, like I said, whether it's movement or also stillness. I think it comes together. It's not one or another.
Yeah, that's a great question because a lot of the times, well, everything is quite connected, mind, body, spirit, but we tend to differentiate or separate it, right? And a lot of the times they've prescribed exercise for mental health for anyone that has depression because it helps not only just the endorphins and the dopamine and all the chemicals and the neurotransmitters in the body, like scientifically, it helps things moving that way. Um, but it also shifts and the heart rate, but it shifts the perspective. It's like the mindset shift where if you're depressed and you're kind of like depressing the body and just like blah, instead of moving the body and like getting energized, it's gonna continue to depress the body. So there's a saying that an old sage and yogi said: if you're feeling depressed, press back. So basically,
Right. Press back.
yeah, like create
One.
some kind of a pressure system. It's like a pressure gauger. Like if you're doing breath work, hold in, or if you're going into like a cold shower, something where you are in it, kind of in it, you're putting yourself in an intense situation voluntarily because you have control of what you're doing. Excuse me. And so you don't want to just let the thoughts take you away into that depression and downward spiral, right? So to reframe
Yeah.
it and reset it, you want to start to move the body, and that's why exercise really helps with mental health, in my opinion. I mean, there's so many other reasons too, but we'll go.
No, I'm sure there are plenty of reasons. Actually, what you told me right now, I know a few people that. Why am I talking about someone else? I'll talk about myself. A lot of times, when I don't feel like it, and I'm kind of down, I'm a big believer in feeling the pain. But after I feel it, so then I go in, I put on my running shoes, or it could be a dance. So I really connect to what you said, and like I don't want to mention other names because I respect their privacy. But like I said, I know many people that also have mental health issues, and there are a few things you need to do, like you said. So also with mental health, you might have a few things you need to do, but one of them almost always will be some type of movement or exercise. And I think it's really crucial. I can say also today when a lot of people are in a place that maybe they feel that they're not enough because they just got fired from their job, or they're whatever they're working at, it's changing now because with technology. And like you said, when you kind of you press yourself down, so you're not really able to take action, to move, to do whatever you need to do. And that exercise, whatever it is, can really help you take that first step, can really give you more I'll say like self-confidence. But I have to say just one thing, Abby. It's some people think only yoga or only running or whatever it is. Is there like a certain type of exercise that you recommend, or you just or movement?
Yeah. So for everybody that can walk, or I mean, even if you're in a wheelchair, shifting the perspective and getting out in nature, it will change your lens. It'll change your focus. It'll kind of repattern those spiraling rabbit hole thoughts. So get off your phone for one thing and go into nature. And so that's the biggest thing. I mean, yeah, walking. I mean, like that's why I said if you can walk, because but even if you can't, you can get out and breathe the fresh air and be in nature, because that'll be a really good reset. But walking has been a phenomenal exercise for me. Daily, twice a day, I try to get in at least 10,000 steps. Like, it's been
Amazing.
amazing for my mental health and body. So anyone can do that unless you're injured. But I mean, like I said, just get out and breathe fresh air.
For sure. I'm not sure that everyone would like to hear that, Ali, because, you know, we always look for excuses that maybe it's not for me. And basically what you're saying here is it's for everyone and everyone could do it in whatever way they like. So
No
no,
excuses.
no, not at all. I'm totally with you. And I also really connect to the, like, making it simple and not necessarily doing what other people do. I remember I always have stories from ex-girlfriends, which are amazing people. But one of the things that I learned is sometimes also as ourselves, like we bring this energy that, you know, if we do something, so everyone needs to do it. If I dance, everyone needs to dance. If I go running, it's not like that. One time she came to me, she told me, you know, I bought these running shoes. And I was like, wow, you hate running. And as you know, if you hate something, you won't do too much. You'll do it 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And I spoke to her. I told her, listen, the fact I like running, nice. But do you like dancing? Like, go move. Like, do whatever you like. You like going for a walk, do it. But I really like what you said that there, you know, each person could do whatever he wants. But even if it's someone that tells himself that it's not for me, you just made it now really simple. Walk if you can walk. Have someone walk you in the nature. So thank you for making that, you know, available for everyone, for whoever was just now debating if it's for him or not, or if he could or couldn't, or if she. So
Yeah,
thank you,
and
Ali, for making it
whatever
simple.
you love to do, that's a great point. Like it doesn't have to be walking, but just being able to move the body. And people will be resistant if you're suggesting something or if you're doing something for another person. It's got to be for you, so you have to enjoy what you're doing.
Nice.
And that serotonin will start increasing, right? Otherwise, if there's resistance, you're not going to like it. And sometimes we have to start things, though, that we know is good for us, but we don't necessarily like because we're programmed to think differently, right?
You just now, you know, you just bought the next question. I have to. So, no, people are listening to this right now, and it's nice knowledge. You made it pretty simple for people to start. But how do they start? Because you just now mentioned that, you know, sometimes you don't have that, you don't know how to start, the energy to start, or like how do you start getting into that momentum of this being part of your life routine? I don't believe in diets or whatever. Like it's supposed to be your life routine, not a one-time shot of movement or nutrition, whatever it is. So how do people get into that momentum of starting, of getting into it and continuing?
Well, I would say for sure find if you're wanting to exercise or walk or do some kind of activity that you're not necessarily, there is a bit of resistance to. I would suggest finding a walking buddy, or you know, if you have animals, they definitely get you outside. Like that's their thing. They know what's best. And so having company like that is less, especially if you have mental health. Because if you're going alone doing these things, sometimes it can be a little bit too much in the head. So if you find a friend or someone you can walk with or pets, that really helps out. So I would say to start, you know, have some kind of an accountability buddy. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, it's hard sometimes if you don't have people around you. But people wait until they're so sick that they have a dis-ease or some kind of condition that's life-threatening. They wait.
Yeah.
And the point is we have to be preventative so that we don't get to that point where now I have to do something or I'm gonna die. So I mean it's unfortunate that that's what they wait till that happens. So don't wait. Like do it now.
Love it. So you're saying have someone hold you accountable, and I think in general, when people hold you accountable, that could be a great way to do things that you didn't do until now. Even if you're a player, if there's something that you still didn't do, having someone hold you accountable could be great. And just like also, you know, like you said at the beginning, Ali, like there's no reason for an excuse. I was speaking to someone lately, and she told me she loves dancing, but there's not enough places she likes to go and dance. So she's not dancing, and she's, you know, kind of depressed. But I don't like putting that tag so fast. But she's feeling down from it. So I told her, listen, I also love dancing. I do something pretty simple. If I don't find a place, I go in my place and I put some good music and I just start moving. I don't like, and the second you get into that movement, that already starts moving things. So Ali gave you here plenty of ways to start and how also to get into that momentum, and I really appreciate that, Ali.
Yeah,
And
actually, I
before,
just want to chime in there for a second. I think it would be good to maybe suggest to her to play some kind of music that you listen to when you were like I put on 80s music. Like first thing in the morning, like I'm dancing in the shower, I'm like dancing. I mean, you just any music that really inspires you and kind of not that 80s music, it just reminds me of being that age though, and it brings out the inner child and that playfulness, right?
that's great. I loved what you said. That inspires you. Does again going back doesn't need to be for someone else. So I'll talk to you also about that because I'm sure that we don't like the same music, but I'll tell her that whatever she likes, just wake up with it, and start moving. So that I appreciate that tip.
I hope you enjoyed the video and got some tools to overcome your challenges and light your path. If you haven't yet, please smash that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget, the most amazing things in life are the ones you take for granted.